3, 2, 1.
Hey, there's that new thing.
That new thing again.
What was that? What's this? How to clap? I want to clap.
This is round 2.
This is a way better start.
We're doing round 2 now. So we tried to get it going, and then we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. But yeah, we have Laith here. It's great to have you on finally, man.
It's great to be on finally, guys.
We've been talking about it for ages, man. So we finally got it done.
The fans are in for a treat. It's not only one Laith, but 2 Laiths. What?
2 Laiths, yeah.
Doesn't get better than this.
Double the pleasure.
2 big guys.
2 big guys.
2 big guys.
It's funny. Laith Al-Durrah, Laith Al-Bazargan, both Iraqiyin, both over 6'3".
Yeah, giants.
Both father's name starts with the letter M.
Yeah.
Muhannad Mazen. What else?
Both extremely handsome, ravaging young men.
They can see that. That's obvious. That's
I don't know
obvious.
about young anymore, but yeah.
Both lived in Abu Dhabi, then moved to Mississauga, then moved back to the GCC.
Yeah.
You're like my doppelganger.
Yeah.
Is that
doppelganger? That's what it is.
Is it?
I think so. There's a term for that.
Would it be? I don't know. Isn't a doppelganger supposed to live on like an alternate universe or something?
We kind of live in alternate universes.
I think they say that there are there is some sort of statistical probability of you looking identical to someone else roaming this earth.
By the way, speaking of which, I don't know if you remember, but when we used to travel, I used to get that at least once through our travels from someone. Some random parent would stop us and be like, "Hey, look at my kid. He looks like you." Like,
I don't
not
remember
really quite, but yeah, all right. But that's just
nice try.
So, you guys froze there for a second.
All good.
All good, bro. All good.
All good. You know what? You talk about that. Do you remember when we went to Japan and they were like taking pictures out with us? Like we were some sort of like...
The Japanese were taking pictures of you? That's hilarious.
Dude, we're in like a whole bunch of Japanese albums.
Look at these aliens.
Seriously, it's like we're like a little mascots, right? They thought we were part of the theme park. But it's good to have you on, man. So amazing. We were just talking about it before we had to reset and try over again. You're doing the boxing thing, the training thing, as well as your full-time job.
Yes.
And I was asking you, I'm like, how many days a week? And you're saying every day. So how are you managing that, man?
With great difficulty, man. It's a non-stop hustle. It just doesn't stop. It's early mornings to late nights between, the professional career of logistics, which is a full-on day, and then I got to come home, reset, change the mind frame entirely and move from that kind of, professional corporate type of situation to a professional sporting type of situation. Yeah. Man, it's long days, dude. It's just nonstop, going. But the thing is, though, I'm sure you guys know, when you're doing something that you love, the passion, that drives it. That just kind of makes it, that second half of the day doesn't feel like work, honestly. It kind of feels like more like I'm playing and enjoying my time. And I do have fun with it as well. So
I think it's
hard, but I love it. I
think that's what everyone's searching for, man.
That's the differentiator. That's it. If you love what you're doing, it's no longer
it's not work.
A burden. It's no longer like, I have to drag my feet in doing it.
Have you found that, Laith?
No.
Yeah.
No, I thought you were going to say the podcasting, but all right. Okay.
Like what I'm trying to say is that
something that you earn money with.
Exactly, like something that will allow me to stop doing the non-stop nonsense 9 to 5, put on the tie and live the corporate or whatever kind of environment that we have to do to earn a living.
Absolutely, it's a tough call though. I gotta tell you, man, because it's kind of like starting over. And when you reach a certain age and you have that security of the job, the paycheck's coming in, you have health insurance, you have all of these things that you pretty much line up your entire life with and start to depend on, to kind of be able to say that, look, I either want to cut back on that or cut it out entirely and move on to the next thing with so much uncertainty. It's with anything entrepreneurial, but beyond that, it's just there's a part of you that has to let go and kind of just dive in blindly. As well as, of course, the added, idea and thought that you try something 11 times, you fail 11 times and you get it on the 12th or whatever it is, whatever that saying is.
Yeah.
That, it can be very discouraging, but I think that's where the passion kicks in, right? The passion and the love. You can fail 1,000 times. Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I'm going to get back up and I'm going to do it just because I love doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's where the key is. When I'm not even looking at earning power anymore. It's just that have me able to feel so fulfilled in what I'm doing. Just be relaxed and be happy about it. At that point, honestly, beyond that, the bare minimum is good enough for me.
Well, this is
not to say that I'm going to drive for the bare minimum. Obviously, shoot your shot, but
yeah, like for me, the earning power would be the byproduct of doing what you love to do, what you enjoy to do. It's not the goal. It's not the reason why you get up in the morning. Like for me, for some people it is. For some people it's like, how much money can I earn today is what drives them, what fuels them, what's their passion. It's not, it's not a need, it's a want. I want to earn that money. I want to live in that world where I'm crunching numbers. And it's great for some people. Hey, I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense, but when he asked me like, what's, have you found your passion? No, I haven't found that passion to be that dedicated or that motivated to drop everything and say, this is what I'm going to do and everything else will align.
Is that true though? Do you really, I'm going to challenge that because I want to ask you, do you really not know what you love or what you love to do at this stage?
As a hobby, as to keep myself busy, but something where I know this is what I want to geek out into and just throw myself 120% in. No.
Still not there.
No. I don't think
it's taken me 43 years to get there, so it
kudos
take
to
your time.
you.
But when you find it, man, you'll know.
Exactly.
You'll know.
Well, this is it.
Exactly.
I'm the same way as you, Laith. I don't know. I don't feel like I found that niche, that thing that I really gives me a combination of fulfillment and enjoyment and could potentially be a career. I think I honestly truly believe that opening a restaurant for me would do that for me. I don't know. I'm like open up a wing shop.
Wings and
knafe.
And knafe.
Wings and knafe. I'm telling you, that's the combo. Wings and knafe. For real.
It's the ultimate
just
combo.
Do two things so freaking awesomely that people are just going to come for those two things, and that's it. Wings and knafe. Legit. Seriously.
Sold. I'm in.
You're in, right? That's what I'm saying. Like we have a friend of ours that did his burger place. I love that setup. Like when I'd go there, I'd get so excited seeing his setup. It was small, whatever. It's cozy. I don't know, man. I think I'd get fulfilled in that kind of environment.
I think anything service I would enjoy doing. I love making something or offering something to people and see that enjoyment on their face or the feeling that they get. That's something that I think I could get into. Service.
Well, there you go.
Some type of service. Yeah.
There you go. Getting you one step closer. There you go.
Tick.
But since you get that fulfillment, so from the boxing, what is it? Is it the training others as much as it's the doing?
Well, I mean, Namir, you know firsthand how much we've always just loved the whole fighting and the whole combat part of life, whatever it is. One is we're very competitive. Two is the actual physical exchange of combat. It's just always been something we've been fascinated with ever since we watched Rambo First Blood when we were whatever it was,
way too young for some reason. Our parents just were chill with that. They just totally didn't care. Like we let us watch everything.
We didn't have any R rating growing up in the 80s. There was if you can get your hands on it,
it was pretty much whatever you could get your hands on, pop it in the tape and the VHS, those VHS, and just go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to keep them busy. All right, go, take it.
Exactly.
Whatever the VHS rental had, pirated at that time.
I think we watched First Blood like, I don't know, 1,000 times. I can't even remember how many times we watched it. We obsessed on it.
You know what I don't understand? What I don't understand is horror movies. The 80s horror movies are so much better than any horror movie in today's world. Like,
they've had some good ones. I have to say, they've had some good ones. It's just, with horror movies, I think if you sit down with it with this adult mentality, that's not realistic. This isn't this. You kind of have to sit and kind of be a child almost, looking at it, open to the whole feeling and scenario of it. Just kind of get yourself as interactive with it as possible. I've actually seen some pretty decent ones lately, but again, like you said, overall, definitely the quality of horror, or what we were dealing with back then, was some pretty scurry stuff.
Yeah, it was. Man.
Exorcist,
Nightmare on Elm Street,
Halloween,
Friday the 13th. These all classics. Yeah, man. Like, but you always liked horror movies. I hated it. I still don't like it. I don't know what you liked about it.
It's that whole, like I said, you kind of disconnect from reality, which you do with watching any movie, really. But I don't know. Fear is just another emotion that we all have. So I kind of enjoy testing the limits of that. There's the whole jump scare thing. That's also actually kind of funny. I think, just for the record, I think the human reaction of a jump scare is probably one of the most interesting and fun things you can possibly get out of a human.
Dude, did you know, speaking of jump scare, I just found something interesting the other day. In Toronto, it's illegal to scare somebody to death. You can get charged. Like, if you scare...
For like manslaughter? Or...
Yeah, you can be criminally responsible if you scare somebody and they die. Like...
that sounds reasonable.
It is, but it's an actual law. Like, you can't drag a dead horse on Yonge Street on a Sunday morning. That's another crazy law that we have in Toronto. I don't know if you guys heard that before.
That's kind of random.
Say that again?
You can't. I'm telling you, Google it. It's for real. You cannot drag a dead horse on Yonge Street on a Sunday morning. It's actually a law.
Yeah, so like Friday afternoon, it's fine?
Yeah, as long as it's not mentioned in the Criminal Code of Canada.
Anyways, man, fuck the horses, dead or alive.
Okay, yeah, let's not talk about horses.
I hate them. We always bringing it up.
Forgot about.
You still have your thing with horses, huh?
I hate it. I hate them. Hasn't changed. It's worse. It's gotten worse. I don't know. Have you realized that when you get older, your phobias get more extreme? Or is it just me?
My biggest phobia is heights, and I have to say, I don't know. I can't say if it's gotten worse or better.
No,
it's
me,
still there.
I'm like more jittery. The two things that I don't handle well, heights and horses. It's getting worse. Like, literally, it's getting much worse.
What's your phobia, Laith?
I don't know if I have one, really.
You know me.
Phobia, that's a good... All right, yeah. I'll tell you my phobia. My phobia are freaking needles.
Yeah, that's like...
Really?
Needles. That's our inherited from our father.
I can't look at them. All this vaccination stuff going around, they're showing people getting stuck with... It's bad news. It's just bad news. I can't. I don't know what it is. And it's not even the pain.
What about knives?
Right? Sorry?
What about knives?
No, I wouldn't say.
So if I'm coming to mug you on the street and I show up with a needle...
That'll mess him up. That'll stress him.
Instead of a knife.
Definitely, you'll freeze me up. You'll freeze me right up. So like, just take what you want. Leave me alone. Get out of my life.
That's interesting.
Him and dad are the same way.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's in
the family.
It's inherited.
And my dad, we took him to the hospital. He threw out his back. Like, when was it? It was right before I left Bahrain.
Yeah.
Dude, it was honestly, I was embarrassed. He's a grown man. And he was like full on, like, no, like fighting with the doctor, fighting with the nurses, like full on. And I'm like trying to like, yo, chill out. You can't do this. He's like, no.
I get it. I completely get it, man. It's so intrusive. It's going into your life force. This little thing that no.
So how are you gonna take your vaccine?
Yeah, how are you gonna take your vaccine?
Orally?
Well, look, in the end, I kind of just look away, and you have to man up. If you got to do it, you got to do it, right?
Yeah.
But one is it's got to be administered by a professional, because that's the bare minimum. Don't come at me with some random. That's not gonna work for me. But yeah, no, I do kind of look away and just breathe and try to stay conscious.
Laith is waiting for the suppository COVID vaccine. I'll have me some of that. Oh shit, that's good.
Zen.
So exciting boxers. I want to bring it back to the boxers. Are you dealing with anyone that's legit? Like on a level that you know, like, because we know who good fighters are, good boxers. Is there anyone that impresses you?
There's a few actually. There's a few kids out here that we've been working with as a gym. I think you guys had Tariq Abdulrahman on the show. I think last week. I think it was something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got a few kids that he started coaching, when they were really young. And I think that's when it's exciting is when you can get these kids at a young age and develop them and watch them develop. Just honestly, there's, you look at some of these kids and yes, hard work gets you somewhere. Definitely. Yeah. It gets you everywhere, actually, if you ask me. But when you come across, the one or two that have this special extra little talent, to add to the hard work, man, it becomes really, honestly, something so exciting to be a part of. It's limitless. It's limitless. To have this kid in front of you who's now 21, 22, and to think that, if he continues with this dedication and on this path, this guy will be a contender on a world scale, on a professional world scale, can easily be a contender. There's a couple,
You think the mentality is there though? Because, I think boxing has that X factor, right? The mental game. It's so personal. It's a personal struggle, like literally you and yourself. And when you get tired and your brain is telling you just don't do it anymore, it's easy to quit. No one's going to judge me. Like, how do you develop that? How do you work people's mental game?
Well, I mean, it's with any athletic type of activity, right? Sure, you see it when you got to wake up and hike at 5 a.m. or whatever madness it is that you do. Yeah, it's easy for me to quit this. It's way easier than to do it. But you kind of get in this groove and you get in this type of mentality where when you do it over and over, and especially if you start at a younger age, it just kind of becomes something that's for me and you difficult to think about. Oh man, how's he going through this? But that conditioning over time, that repeated non-stop conditioning, you almost stop thinking about it. And with boxing, it is a bit different because it's you are putting yourself in imminent physical harm.
Yeah.
But it's a sport, right? It's a sport in the end. It is not for everybody. You will reach a certain point where, I've seen it as well as I've trained some kids that are fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing. I mean, became champions of Bahrain, Bahrain national champions, but then decided, this isn't for me. Whether it was because I need to go, work in a bank or whatever the case is, or, I just don't like getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
There is a certain line that you just a threshold that you say to yourself as an individual, all right, I've taken this as far as I want to take it. I got my medal for my wherever it is, gym or country, and I'm done. Or I want to cross over now and see just how far I can take this thing. Yeah. And it's to the individual. It's to the individual. and it is not for everybody. I guess you got to have that passion in you.
Of course.
Because getting punched in the face repeatedly is not fun.
No.
But I'm almost starting to see, especially in combat sports like boxing and MMA, there's a pattern that you see in like you said, you see talent. You see people that have that it factor, that physically, mentally, they can become great. And you kind of see that. And I'm sure as a trainer, you can recognize that pretty quickly from somebody. And you can differentiate them. But I think for them to go to the next level, there's more than that, which is the hard work that they need to put into the commitment to the game. But I think one of the most common denominators, I don't know if that's a correct way to describe it, but it's the struggle, especially in combat sports. Like if you see a lot of the current champions, I'm going to talk specifically on MMA because it's the most recent ones, the likes of Habib, the likes of Hamzat. These guys were born into wars. They had a struggle. They had a rough life. And I think when you're exposed to that in that type of sport, I think apex is the right word to describe it, where you've ticked every single box in order for you to crush and smash everybody in front of you and still have the mental capacity and stamina to keep pushing forward.
I think that's a very fair comment. I think that's very fair. You look at even the greats, the all-time greats, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. These are all people that have, come up through the struggle.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's poverty, whether it's racism, whether it's whatever it is, these are just people that have come out into the fight and just continue to fight.
It's a natural thing for them. Fighting is just like eating or sleeping or.
I think it definitely helps. But I also don't think that it's a singular prerequisite. It definitely gets you there.
I agree.
But you have people that might come out, might have come out of a bit more of a privileged background. But if they've trained extremely hard, not seen themselves as better than anyone else from a young age, I think you can cultivate that. True. It's tough though. It's a tough sell with combat sport. It is a tough sell.
Yeah.
Because people from privileged background tend to have the ability to be able to take the education to the next level, to have, doors that are opened for them that wouldn't otherwise be open. So it is a bit of a tough sell. But I don't think it's
I'm just trying to think.
Ryan, you know that boxer, that young American Mexican boxer, Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
That guy comes from privileged, I wouldn't say privileged background, but I mean, yes, he's working his ass off. But he's got every resource you can think of in front of him. I don't know much about history. You probably know more, and you can correct me. I might be talking out of my scope.
I think you're right. I don't think you're completely off with that. I haven't seen or read anything that he's come from a rough background.
Yeah. But he's a champ, right?
And this is it. He's a champ. He's worked hard.
Yeah.
Ever since he was a kid, I've been watching this guy since, I don't know.
Yeah, man. I saw Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Ages ago.
He's a quick one.
and this Paul Dumbfuck, what's his name? That wants to start a fight with him.
That
guy's the YouTube guy.
The YouTuber guy, yeah. We talked about it in last episode.
Jack.
He's what's his name? Paul Logan, I think, is fighting Mayweather, right? That's done. That's a done deal.
It's a clown match.
It's a joke. Yeah, we already spoke about it. I'm like, I don't even want to give them that much more attention. They're already getting enough attention.
I'm with you.
Logan, I'll fight you. What's up? If you see this.
Jokers.
Come to Dubai. I got you.
Calling out. I like it. But now are you now, other than like the training thing, are you training yourself or no? You're not doing much?
Not as much. I find that these days my training is more injury recovery or whatever I can do to prevent future injury, man. Kind of functional type training. Yeah. I don't train specifically anymore. No.
And dude, you see what happened with me, man. Lateral tear of the meniscus, partial fracture of the knee bone. I'm like, all I did was jog That's all I did. I started jogging. Within a month, that's it.
Welcome to 40.
Man, it's nonsense, dude. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's because we don't. It's also because we don't know how to control ourselves either. Like we go full steam. I should have scaled my way up. I just started running 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just like.
Well, that's what we do, right? Remember, it was like
straight
we
away.
never put on a boxing glove in our life till the day we decided let's go to SportsMart and buy all the equipment, and tomorrow we're in the gym sparring.
Yeah, like 3-hour war sessions. People used to come watch us spar, like war. We used to go to war. It was crazy. It's crazy.
So how are things in Bahrain, man? Are you moving around? Are you going out? How's it like? Has it calmed down a little bit?
It has. I think the general attitude, I kind of feel like everywhere is, I think we're all pretty much sick of this thing. So you got a lot of people that are just a lot more relaxed about a lot of things, which me personally makes me nervous, I have to say.
Yeah.
I haven't relaxed. I still, mask from here to there, sanitizing, washing, all of that stuff. Of course, the preventative also with, supplementing
vitamin
vitamins
D,
and,
zinc.
eating the right stuff and taking
It's all you
care
can
of
do,
your
bro.
health that way.
It's all you can do. That's the bare minimum, but there's nothing else you can do to overprotect yourself. I think if you're following what you're saying, which is common sense, mask it, sanitize, supplement.
We're still a year away, man. That's the reality, honestly.
Before we can say, hey, we beat this thing.
At least a year.
Yeah. Globally.
At least
a year. Like we need to vaccinate. You need the majority to vaccinate. And then finally will you be able to go out without a mask. Like we are at least a year, if not slightly longer, from being able not to wear a mask. I think people just have to accept that, man. People are still in denial. That trips me.
Well, it's you have the people that are in denial, that have been in denial from the beginning, and then you have the people compounding with that now that are sick of it, that are just tired of it. Right? So that demographic is growing, and it makes me nervous, I have to say, because if you ask me, from day one when everyone was freaking out, nothing has changed. Yeah. If it hasn't gotten worse, actually, with these new strands that are coming out, these mutated strands. So it's not even, it's gotten, it's stayed the same or it's gotten better. No, it's actually gotten worse. So,
Yep. It's true.
Makes me nervous. But Bahrain, they've done well. Honestly, they've done really well. It is a smaller population, so I think they have the opportunity to control it a lot better than most.
Yeah,
and they've done well. I think they've done fairly well at testing, catching them, isolating, these kind of things. They've done really well on an economic front as well. If I have to be completely honest, there were shutdowns.
Yeah,
nothing as severe as what you're seeing around the world. With people losing and losing and losing. Yeah, we did go through that, and the economy did get hit as it would normally get hit. But I think they've done quite well with controlling it. Things are starting to kind of feel semi-normal again. And what do I mean by semi-normal? I think we've all gotten used to wearing masks everywhere.
Yeah, restaurants are open. Everything, all shops,
similar
stores.
to you, similar to Dubai, right?
Yeah. Are you guys? Travel is normal now, right? In and out of the country. You're like Dubai.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I don't know. This is something that I actually was asking. I don't know if they've put on a new rule now that you have to be vaccinated to travel.
Not yet. I haven't heard anything like that.
No, we haven't heard something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just not sure of that. But
you think that will happen?
Yeah. 100%.
I think it's inevitable.
Yeah. I think that's the way that they're going to enforce maximum administration of vaccines, is if you have to tie it in with a need and a want, right? So the way you deal with that is you make it compulsory. In our region, it's more manageable because we're all expats and we need to renew visas. So for me, sensibly, The same way you go do your X-ray for TB and hepatitis and whatever.
You can have the argument of that. If I show a test that I'm negative, just like we're doing today, business as usual. I'm testing. I'm showing that I'm not bringing COVID over to you, to your country. Then why do you need to? I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
No, I think it's for the long play, right? The only way herd immunity kicks in is if you have the majority of the population vaccinated.
Yeah.
So it's a means to an end. But you need to somehow compel people one way or another to do it.
I agree with you. I still think it's not that easy to enforce it. I mean, today we do have certain countries that you can't go to without having yellow fever vaccination or specific type of vaccination.
Exactly. I think I was just reading an article about this, but they're saying that, from a lot of companies now are starting to prep and saying that they are going to make this part of the musts for its employees.
Go back to the office.
That's it. It's just that simple. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You want to earn a living. You want
to. They, especially if they're larger companies, they have a lot of employees. They can't afford to deal with the headache and the stress of having people come in and out that aren't. I
mean, I can think of sports leagues making it mandatory.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Are you
well,
ready?
Where do you guys sit on the vaccine? It being so early and
I mean, look, naturally as a man of science, I'm always a little bit, I'm a little not skeptical, maybe that's the wrong word. I'm a little hesitant. I'm not going to be standing in line right now to take the vaccine. And not only that, I'm not going to be standing in line. I'm not eligible to be standing in line in any case. I'm not the high priority. The high priority needs to be healthcare workers, needs to be people with preconditions, needs to be elderly. But in any case, I would want to see it play out a bit. I want to see, I want to see a few people have it, take it, and see some of the after effects. But ultimately, I do intend to take it sooner rather than later. To be honest, like I'm ready in the next 6 months.
Yeah, like I'm not one that takes the flu shot every year because I don't usually get the flu. I don't see the reason for me to get the flu shot. But something on that scale, then definitely. No, without thinking about it. If it's been proven, and I think that's where the skepticism is for most people, is that that speed that we've developed this vaccine is not usually how it's dealt with.
My concern isn't the efficacy of the vaccine itself. My concern lies in the
side effects.
Others,
yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, the side effects. That's what I mean. But I mean,
you know what I mean?
There's no conspiracy. There's no conspiracy theory.
No, absolutely not. I'm definitely not. I don't subscribe to that conspiracy thing. That's not. They're not putting chips in people and all that nonsense. That's not what I'm worried about.
Please tell me you're not on that. Please tell me you're not on that.
No. I'm as much a conspiracy theory guy as the next person, but I kind of control my conspiracy side because in the end, let's play out this scenario. Okay. All right, it could be that whatever it is, ghosts and monsters have whatever the case is. But in the end, this is what we're up against. This is what we've got to deal with. These are the choices you've got. Let's go.
Yeah,
logical.
So I'm not going to play to those, but no, I'm not much into the whole they're putting a microchip in you and all of that, or trying to kill off half the population or whatever these crazy ideas going through. But it does concern me. Where it was normally it's a 10-year process to develop a vaccine, and it's happened in 10 months. Yes, you cut the red tape because of high urgency and so on and so forth, but it's not the red tape. As Namir said, it's not the red tape or the efficiency of the product itself. Is the long-term effects. These autoimmune issues. They've already come out and said if you have severe allergies from the Pfizer, do not take the Pfizer one. Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah.
How would you know you have?
No, allergies? Like if you have a peanut allergy, if you have something that's like detrimental, like you have bad allergies.
If you have pre-existing allergies of any type.
They're saying don't. The Pfizer is off limits.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so there's a lot of things that you're not sure about what the long-term impact is, right? It's like microwaves, right? Like, I don't know if it's a good example, right? But you know,
5G?
the whole thing. No, the whole thing. Yeah, the 5G, the Wi-Fi. Like, we still don't know what those effects are. The next generation is going to find out, right? Like, so this vaccine, everything is great for the next 10, 15 years, and all of a sudden, you know, you start growing a tail or something. I don't know. You know what I mean? So, but see, I'm ready to take it if it's time, when it comes time. You know, like I said, let the priority people deal with it. Keep an eye on them, right? and then my parents-in-law did it. So yeah, man, they just went and did it. So the criteria in Dubai is elderly, healthcare worker,
pre-existing condition, and your frontline staff or healthcare worker. Yeah. For the Pfizer.
I think it started that way here in Bahrain, but now it's just open. Anybody and everybody.
And it's free for all?
Yeah. I'm telling you, they've done well here. They've done well.
That's amazing.
It's crazy. Even the testing, by the way. You know, like I've been tested, I think maybe 5 times now. More. And I just, call, I have a concern, this and that, and they'll put you through the proper screening and prioritize you that way, and you go to the national center that they've set up here and get tested and get the results that way. It's
here
they've done well, man.
Here we have drive-through testing. It's slick.
Yeah, we have
super
that here
slick,
too. Yeah.
Super slick. I mean, that's like genius. Love it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, let's see how it goes. I don't know. We're on the end of 2020 now. Everybody's got this hope like 2021 is going to be
so much better,
different than yesterday for some reason. But I guess it's hope. It's hope. We all need that. We all need hope.
Yeah,
definitely.
Agreed. Okay, back to the boxing, because I have some questions for you. Who's the best boxer right now? Who do you think right now? Canelo? Are you at that school?
I really like Canelo.
Is Lomachenko off now just because?
Yeah.
Is Lomachenko off the list now because he lost?
No, that's not fair to say. I think Lomachenko, honestly, I wasn't expecting much out of him, especially after such a long break. And people say, yeah, you're a professional, you should have come back but it's different. Ring rust is real. When you haven't been in the ring in a professional exchange for what was it? Almost 2 years, something.
Yeah, something like that. It was like a year and 10 months or something.
So I think that and he went up against a legit opponent.
Yeah, legit. I think it's funny that he's all of a sudden on the pound for pound debate just because he beat Lomachenko, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, that needs a little bit more time and proof for me. I think Lomachenko's still up there. I definitely haven't lost much. Because I think he did win the late rounds in that fight. I think it was just for him to get going.
Yeah, he was
wanted to drag the kid into deep waters, but it just took him forever to reach there. So
he was slow on it. It was very slow. But yeah, so who do you think?
Canelo, man, Canelo's. I think he's the guy to beat. Seems like 4 divisions.
Terence Crawford, what do you think?
Great boxer. Again, you're talking top 5 out there. I like what's that other kid? Guy from Texas.
The guy that got into the car accident. I always forget his name.
Yeah.
The guy that got tossed out of his. The guy who's. You didn't see this?
No.
Oh man, in his Ferrari, he survived. Dude, what's his name? Now he's unreal. He's an unreal fighter as well. Come on, Laith, you got to do this.
I know. I don't know why it's slipping my mind right now.
You're gonna make me do like a look at the phone thing.
When you said Terence Crawford, you screwed it up for me because.
Yeah, he's always like in fights around. They're always talking about him and Terence Crawford. So,
where's young Jamie?
Yeah, where's young Jamie when you need him? Carry this conversation while I'm looking for the dude.
While you're looking for that, are you excited about January UFC? What's happening? We got McGregor.
I kind of fell apart with the UFC.
Why?
Earl Spence. God damn it.
that's it.
Errol Spence. Errol Spence.
He's
He's
something.
Yeah, he's unreal. But like that is something you got to show the viewers. Hopefully, we'll show it, dude. There's camera footage of him flipping his car, and the only reason he survived is because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt.
How?
He got thrown out of the car.
Oh, ejected
out of the car, and that is why he survived, because the car just disappeared. Like if he was in the car and
he would have been
dead, 150%.
Wow,
it's unreal scary.
Wow,
yeah. And he's fine. Like he walked away with like relatively minor injuries. Yeah, unreal. Yeah, Errol Spence.
Yeah, legit. He's great. Tank Davis.
Yeah, he's legit. He's the Garcia. That's the fight I'm waiting to see. Is those two come together? I definitely don't
think Garcia's ready for that.
Oh, for sure not. But I think that's the fight that they're building up for.
That's the future, right? That's the kind of the whole Mayweather De La Hoya thing.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Is he still with De La Hoya? I heard that Garcia is having a falling out with De La Hoya. I don't know if that's true.
There is something going on there. I don't know the details of it. But yeah, I think that there is an issue there. I think it played into the whole Canelo thing because Garcia now is in Canelo's camp, right?
Yeah, so, exactly.
So there's some.
I don't know. And then you still watching MMA? Because that's like.
Honestly, no. Like I said, I kind of fell apart with the UFC. I guess I almost used the UFC as a bridge because I don't know. You remember boxing was really something, back in the Roy Jones days, Zab Judah, all those guys, and then it just kind of fell apart like that. That 10 years of when kind of Klitschko was doing his thing.
Yeah,
I think it became boring for most people. There weren't really big attractions, so that I kind of used to get. That's when I think UFC really started to take off, and I think it was really something back then. But it's been a while. I'd say since like when Anderson Silva broke his leg.
What? Oh wow!
What? Yeah, I've kind of been out of touch.
Wow.
What? That was like what? That was ages ago.
10 years. It's like 10 years.
Is it? Yeah, something like that.
10
it's
years.
Like at least like seven.
It's been that long, huh?
Yeah, 7, 8 years.
Yeah, easy.
I mean, I catch news here and there because it's still combat, which I love, but I don't actively look for it.
We mentioned that in our last podcast. I think what makes UFC more exciting than boxing for me is that I look at UFC and there's like multiple divisions, multiple weight classes, but they fall under one brand, one organization where if you're the champion heavyweight, you're the champion heavyweights. You're not sharing 10. What's the logic? Can you give me the logic behind having 10 different or 5 different?
Yeah, we were talking about that, the different associations, WBC, WBF, IBF, WBO.
Yeah, but that's the same with, you have the same idea with, those are federations, right?
Yeah, so you mean with Pride and...
Yeah, exactly. Pride, UFC,
but one can argue the heavyweight of UFC can smash the heavyweight of Pride any day. Right? I think the best fighters usually gravitate towards the UFC.
The UFC
I think because UFC pays more.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But they filter a lot more.
Yeah, look, I get it. I think the UFC's done a very good job of setting themselves up to have the best crop of fighters. That being said, I don't think it's that black and white. I think there's some fighters in other organizations like Bellator,
True.
whatever, that could potentially cross over and easily match.
And you have crossovers back and forth from Bellator to UFC, UFC to Bellator, or Pride to UFC.
Rare.
There's a lot of that.
Rare, but I don't know. Something about boxing for me is now I'm super excited about it because, like, for example, the heavyweights now, you look at them and they're all stacked. Like I'm loving the heavyweight right now and how it's gonna turn around because it's exciting. It's like, okay, now I can see where this, 2 or 3 or even 4 guys that could potentially go for it. what I liked about the UFC is the consistency. I think I'm not trying to big up Dana White or any of that, but you remember UFC 1 from where it was to where it is now. It's quite an achievement, and they're I think the only federation throughout all of this year that managed to pump out event after event after event, even with the lockdowns.
Yeah, they dealt with it. They did the whole Abu Dhabi play thing at the same time.
Even before Abu Dhabi, they were in Florida, I think. The first bubble that they did.
Yeah.
But then they took it to the next level by bringing them here. Yeah. The fighters. The fighters. John Jones now going against Israel Adesanya. Like that's, I don't know if you're up to date with that.
That's exciting. That is
super
exciting.
I'm so looking forward to that fight.
Is that done? It's not even done though. They're talking about it.
It's gone personal. It's gone personal.
Yeah. We were talking about this. I don't know. I like Israel Adesanya.
John Jones. I'm John Jones all day.
I know. I think John Jones is going to win that fight.
Has it gotten personal?
I think Israel, that's what I'm saying, is that he likes to position himself like this sportsman person, and he's been a little bit of a dick. Like, he says some like dick stuff.
Yeah. He doesn't Izzy doesn't have the sportsmanship that I would expect from a guy at his level.
Yeah.
You know what he did with Costa.
Yeah.
After he tapped him out, he jumped on him and did a pump.
Humped him from behind.
Like, come on, you don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't do that. I don't give a shit how good you are. But yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to talk shit about boxing. Boxing is boxing. But I think it's just the multiples and multiples and multiples where if you're not in it, you're not in it. You're not seeing, like, you guys are talking about all these great names and great boxers, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
But it's you're right, and I think you have to really give the credit to Dana White and the UFC for pushing it, because honestly, boxing is a lot more relatable to the layman than UFC can be, right? I think the multifacets of striking, grappling, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, putting that all together, getting the average person to understand exactly what the intricate details of what's happening when those two guys are just kind of on top of each other. Yeah. But there's a million little micro adjustments that are happening. It's like,
so technical.
For me, I get it. I get it because, I'm in the scene. I've done it. I've done every facet of MMA and all of that. But for the layman, I think for someone to watch two people standing up each other and trying to bash each other, yeah, there's a lot of intricacies there. But, you can definitely get by with not knowing that, as opposed to UFC or MMA, where you really have to kind of know what
why are they laying on each other?
Back, whatever it is, right?
It's funny you say that, because Ani, for me, Besma, my wife, she likes the UFC, which is with all the intricacy, and she appreciates it
more than boxing,
more than football. So yeah, she's just not a fan of football. Like she
did you hear
did that fake out for me for years just to keep me happy.
Speaking of which, did you hear Cristiano Ronaldo make a statement saying he enjoys watching boxing and MMA more than watching football?
Yeah, he said that. I heard him say that.
He did this promo thing with Triple G. Did you guys see that? Ronaldo and Triple G kind of did like a promo, interview kind of thing. It was cool. It was pretty cool, and I think Ronaldo has a certain.
Ronaldo is not. I don't think people give. I'm probably not accurate in this, but this is how I feel like he's not getting enough credit as he should.
Look, he's the biggest athlete in the world. So.
Yeah, athlete, not football alone, just in general.
No, but I know he is the biggest athlete in the world. Like, in all metrics, he makes the most money. He's got the most followers. He's the most respected. He's got 7 million records. He just breaks his own records. Like, he's now in his own little. So between him and Messi, and we were talking. We bring this up. We've spoken about this before. Like, we're so fortunate to have both at the same time.
True.
But because we have both at the same time, it kind of takes away from each of them, right? Because they can they're both lifetime level players. We just happen to have them at the same time, which is kind of bad luck for them as well, right? Like that because in any other generation, it would not even be a discussion. Like, is Messi the best player or is Ronaldo the best player? It'd be like, clearly, it's just a matter of who's the second best. But now you have these two freak shows at the same time. But I think I always say Ronaldo's more accomplished because he's done all of the leagues. I think that's the big difference. He's shown his versatility
time after time.
As well as international, right?
Yeah. In different environments, much more so. And that's why I was so hoping to see Messi come to the English league, but it didn't happen. But I think that's the only knock on him is that. But that discipline, man, that unbelievable drive, motivation. Like you said, Laith, earlier, you're talking about having, all those elements in line. So you have that skill level, but on top of that, you have a freakish determination, focus, discipline to keep doing the grind every day to get yourself better. It's just, that's the difference. That's the LeBron
and this
James.
Is it. That is the difference. And you see there's a slight touch. And when you work with some athletes and you work with more and more athletes, you start to see things like some fantastic, great athletes will come out and do the grind, but just kind of be in the grind. And then there's that little extra tweak of the people that do the grind and do it with the intention to become better than they were yesterday. Literally than yesterday. Hey, I did 9.5 push-ups yesterday. I'm doing 9 3/4 today. Yeah. Right? Even just inch by inch. And you see them get excited about wanting to do this, wanting to train harder, wanting to, it's torturous. The hard training is torturous. You are destroying your body for that, 1.5 hours that you're in there. And to watch people, you see certain people get excited about that. It's something else, right? It's something else. So,
what do you think is the most important thing in a training regimen? Whether it's specific exercises, or is it nutrition, or is it sleep, or is it cardiovascular? Maybe it's a very broad question. I'm gonna put it more specific to boxing. What is the X factor? What's the most important thing?
I think boxing and general, if I'm going to have to speak to one thing that I would like to have there and then work off of around that, would be the mentality. Because everything else will fall into place after that. If they have the right mentality, then nutrition falls into place because they're serious about it. Then daily training falls into place. Then
so how do you train your mentality? How do you cultivate? How do you sharpen?
Is it God-given or is it something that can be nurtured?
It is. It's something that can be nurtured, but I think you reach a limit with nurturing it.
You gotta want to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
so you say are you born with it or not? I mean, that's a very tough question because I think I can cultivate, a professional athlete out of anyone, mind frame or not. But will they excel and become the champion, world champion? No, only the ones with that mentality will. The obsession. There's almost an obsession.
Yeah. Do you have that obsession when you're working with them? You get that giddiness, that excitement?
Oh, yeah.
When we used to train, you get that feeling?
Honestly, I will wake up in the middle of the night. It's like 3 a.m. And, all right, send a WhatsApp to one of my athletes. Hey, something just came to mind. Remember when you did this and you did that? Why don't you do this, that?
What are you doing?
They'll be right there at 3:01 a.m.
What are you doing? Are you sleeping?
I'll look into that. Yeah, definitely, coach. That's an extreme scenario, of course, but I do get excited and I stay excited, especially with the ones that are that match that level.
Yeah.
I will bring that level of excitement and that enthusiasm into everyone. But if you don't match it, then you also bring me down a notch.
You see, this
Which
is
I guess...
what I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm interrupting, but I was just thinking about it yesterday. We were talking about, because I was speaking to one of our family friends. She's a younger girl that recently graduated, and she was asking me if she should do her law degree. And I was saying that that's the one thing I kind of regret. And to come to think about it, is I wanted to do my law degree to do sports, right? And how perfect would have that been, right? We could have done like the full circle, right?
Yeah.
So get the athletes, represent the athletes, train the athletes, and
manage,
and then push them out and manage them as well, right? It would have been sick. So how cool would that have been?
This is honestly that full circle that you're talking about, or that one-stop solution, it has always been, a thought of mine. I think it's something that I am working towards somehow. Still don't know how I'm going to make it happen, but but I think partnering up with the right people, having the right same mentality type of people surrounding you, I think definitely helps. But yeah, that's the dream. That's the dream.
That's it, man. We got to do that at some point. We got to do that. Recruit some crazy freak athletes and make them into pros, champs. It'd be cool.
Yalla, let's do it.
I'm down. I'm super down. I think that'd be awesome.
I'll have you recorded. Now you're recorded saying you're down.
I am down. I am down. I'm still looking for that passion. Maybe it's, chicken wings, knafa, and representing athletes. You never know.
One-stop shop.
This diversification is the key, man. This is it.
We just nailed it out. Youth, thank you so much for coming. We got to do this, man.
It was amazing to be on.
It was cool.
I love the show, guys. I love what you're doing. Keep doing it. It's fantastic stuff, man.
Thank you so much. It's amazing to have you on. Miss you a lot. Wish you were here in person to do it with us.
Yeah, for sure. We'll do it in person when you come visit.
Hopefully soon enough.
You're coming. I'm gonna put you on record. You're
coming. Recorded.
By the time this episode comes out, you should be in Dubai.
You don't have me recorded saying that, so.
I'm gonna deep fake you. I'm gonna deep fake you.
He froze. That was tricks.
For a second, I thought he did freeze.
He froze.
Good one.
Then, all right, guys. The drill. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll catch you on the flip.